It's one thing to tell someone that there are farmers in South Africa that are breeding predators in cages to be shot. But when you show people visuals of what that actually entails, if you show people images of lions in these confined conditions, which are obviously unnatural, then the true horror of what actually is at play here becomes very obvious. And that's what shocks people. So really what you're doing is you're just reducing the demand to the degree that it makes it an unviable business model for South Africans to be breeding predators in cages.
Traditionally, economics is focused on trying to protect the supply in economic terms, and what we believe is that if you don't affect the demand, you're not going to be able to protect the species involved. So we try and educate people what's going on, try to sensitize them to the problems, and try to basically unsell them the product. Sometimes we use humor, sometimes we'll use shock horror, and I think there's no one size fits all for this. Different things affect different people in different ways. Well, we started doing this kind of work back in 1996 in Taiwan with people like Jackie Chan as our spokespeople to try and persuade people to stop consuming rhino horn, elephant ivory and products like that.
If you're buying rhino horn, you may be paying for more than just horn.
And what we are finding is that the children are actually teaching the older generation. They're picking up on it and they're saying, grandfather, you can't use rhino horn. And ultimately that kind of peer pressure, I think, is a lot more effective than any TV ad you can make. So it's not so much turning on a switch in consumers as changing societal attitudes and making something socially unacceptable.
So please tell your friends and relatives, never buy products made from rhino horn. When the buying stops, the killing can too.
And we want to pull in the non-traditional audience. You know, it's no good going to the National Geographic and Discovery Channel, they're already on your side. We want the people that might be watching a basketball game or a soccer game. We want those people to be exposed to conservation and hopefully to start to care about it.
When the buying stops.
When the buying stops.
When the buying stops,
the killing can too.
So the idea is really just to start brainstorming with people who have access to politicians, who have access to the media, who have access to educational facilities, where you can start broadening the concept of why it's important to introduce legislation to stop this kind of practices.